WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have Old Pulteney 25. Ooh. The first question of the day is, what other boxes have you actually experienced that are totally stupid? All right, for me, this is a perfect example of that, all right? So I have my box here. It is nice. I have this little metal thing here. I have the 25. And then I have these two little buttons on the side. I hope you can see that. Yeah, snap button. So I have to snap the one button open. I have to snap the other button open. These are actually leather, all right? So that's leather down here. It feels at least like plastic leather. It might not be leather. But then I can take the box lid up. Doesn't always work, by the way. So there we go. And I can reveal now our 25-year-old whiskey. Look at this. These little things here, they actually have magnets. So if I do this, they slowly, and then they go click. So let's see if you can see this here where it goes click. Yeah, you can actually see it there. So it actually clicks in place here. And then it has a nice little cushioned bottom. It's as if it's a lazy man for the bottle, a cushioned bottle here. All right, good. So 25-year-old, I'm going to do this so it looks a little bit better. 25-year-old Old Pulteney. Over here in Germany, I'm paying anywhere from 333 euros all the way up to 450 euros. The official price at Old Pulteney's shop is 400 pounds. So the 300 some is much cheaper than you can buy it in Scotland. Now, I've seen it for much more, and I have not seen it for much less. So, all right, so this is a bottle that's been opened. Now, why did I buy this bottle? Good question. All right, now I have been doing a lot of online tastings. Not that I do it just by myself, but I actually send out sets over here in Germany, usually 23 or 46 sets from one 700 cl bottle. We have 3 CLs, so you can get 23 samples out of that very easily. And what I do beforehand is I list, for example, someone said, hey, let's do a vertical tasting of Old Pulteney. And so I list all the different bottles of Old Pulteney that are available at the moment in the German market. We rank them, we vote, and then the top 6 are actually included here in the tasting. So in the tasting that we had at the beginning of, at the end of last year, it was actually January, it was the beginning of this year, we had Old Pulteney 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, and an independent bottle of Old Pulteney from Germany called Rapture, a 13-year-old first fill and cask strength. By the way, the 12-year-old Old Pulteney is pretty good for the value for money that it offers, especially blind. The winner was what I'm going to compare this to. So I'm going to get rid of this real quick and put this down here. This was the sample that I had here of the 17-year-old. Ding, ding, ding. So the 18-year-old lost. That was one of the worst bottles we had of the evening. One of the best bottles was the 12-year-old. And the second best was the 15-year-old, and the 16-year-old also lost. All right, so the 15 was 46%, the 17, 46%. Those are the old bottles that we don't have anymore. Now we have the 16 and 18 with only then 40%. At least the 18 only had, they had 46%. I can't read here. So they were 46% as well, but they just didn't taste as good as they used to. Sorry. All right, so first of all, the color here. So if you can see here, you do see the color difference. This is lighter, this is much darker. Now, everywhere online I can find it says here non-chilled filtered. On the bottle, on the box, not a word. All right, so also not on the bottle, not on the box, not on the website. On many German sites it says, this has been matured for 22 years in ex-bourbon American oak casks and finished for a further 3 years in Spanish oak ex-sherry, and sometimes it actually says oloroso sherry casks. Even that, it's not mentioned on the official website of Old Pulteney. And Old Pulteney, it says, this was matured in American oak and then finished in Spanish oak. Full stop. Yay! All right, so That's the way things sometimes are at the moment, that we don't have the transparency that we would like and that we would love. And it's not that hard to write things down, I think, like that. Especially if we're buying a whiskey that's 300 plus euros. But apparently the people that buy a 300 plus euro whiskey are not looking for that amount of transparency here. All right, so let's see here. On the nose, this is an awesome whiskey on the nose. I get orange blossom honey. That was a good note, wasn't it? I'm proud of myself as well. Honey with orange peel in it. This is really good. Put some caramel in there. Put a tiny, tiny little bit here of wood in there, and put another extra portion of honey in there. I mean, that's really, really nice. I like this. I almost love this. This is the bee nose. This is a fantastic, fantastic nose over here. Well, well done. This is somewhat more reserved. The 17-year-old is actually awesome compared to the new 18-year-old, the 16-year-old, even beats the 15-year-old. But here, compared to the 25-year-old, it's not just holding up as much as it could. Oh, but why did I buy the 25-year-old? Because we had our top 6, and number 7 was the 25-year-old. And I almost kicked something out, and so on. I said, nah, I'll just buy a bottle, just share it and do a video all by itself. And I didn't want it to be over-dominating in that a 12-year-old 33 euro versus a 25 333 euro bottle just didn't seem fair to me. All right, so I get more of a salted caramel here. I get more of a bourbon freshness and vanilla. Here I get that sherry fruitiness. Little exotic fruits. I get like an black tea with orange spices in there. Would I actually think that they are from the same distillery and actually brothers and sisters? Not really. That could have been 2 different distilleries in my opinion here. All right, so both of these 46%. Let's go in for the kill. Let's try some of this here. Love the nose. Cheers. Mm-hmm. Transitions. It's not as sweet as I expected. There is a sweetness here. There's a honey. I'm surprised that after 25 years, it's not more of a silky creaminess. That alcohol, the 46%, is definitely there the whole time. There's a little bit of a tiny... it reminds you that you're drinking whiskey of 46%, and don't ever forget that. It's there, and it's not going to be... you can't ignore it. But on top of that, you have these dried fruits. On top of that, you have this... it's more like a mousse chocolat. It's not a bitter chocolate. It's not a milk chocolate, but it's a rich, deep chocolate. And if there's one thing that I'm going to say about this whiskey that I don't like, it's almost too rich. It's like a piece of fudge. It's like a piece of double chocolate cake. It's like a piece of pecan pie. You eat that one piece and it's rich enough and you're done. That was enough for that day. Thank you very much. You usually don't. I don't go back for seconds. I don't go back. I can't do it again. I enjoy my one piece and it was like, okay, thank you. That's enough. And that's what I'm getting here as well. It's got that richness, that sweetness, that complex, compressed moments of taste going on here. And yet, it's nice. It's a B minus nice. I love the nose. I like the taste. It's got a fairly long finish as well. You have some cinnamon, you have some cloves, you have a little bit of that Christmas spice going on at the end there. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's a little bit of a yeasty moment going on in there as well. Oak is definitely in there. It's not dominant. It's not too much. It's there, though. And the saltiness is more in the 17 than in the 25, but it's definitely evident. All right. And the orange peel. This is more of a lemon lime type of Sprite moment. This is more of a dark orange liqueur almost. It's really interesting. I like that. Hmm. 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 B minus, definitely. Value for money, D plus. 400 euros, sorry, 400 pounds, 333, 350 euros. I have a rule of 10 euros per year. This rule doesn't work for whiskeys under 12 years of age. Who's going to pay 120 euros for a 12-year-old whiskey that's not Macallan? I'm not. Who's going to pay for a 21-year-old whiskey? 210 euros might just work. But then from the difference between 210 for the 21-year-old and then the 25-year-old is not 40 euros. It's going to be 100 euros, 80 euros, somewhere around those lines. There's an increase. It's like you look at the curve here, the prices go up, and then they go up, and then they just shoot up. And the older you get after 21, the more expensive you're usually going to pay, and that's going to be an enormous, just skyrocketing increase. And so this is not 250 euros per bottle. It's 350. It's 400 pounds, and it's just way too much. Is it way too much for what it offers? Yes, in my opinion. Is it way too much for 25-year-old whiskey in the year 2022? Yes, it is. But am I the target group? Do I have 350 euros laying around and just going, what bottle am I going to buy next? No. This is not something I would buy. This was a special whiskey. I bought it so we can share it and so on. I only 5 CLs belong to me, and yet those 5 CLs cost me 26 euros. Yeah, so 10 CL would have costed over 50 euros. That's kind of mind-blowing, all right? So this little 3 CL sample here of this, which is enough for like 2 drams, is 17 euros 40. All right, that's just way too much. It's way too much for a dram, in my opinion. That's just not worth it. All right, so question of the day. What Old Pulteney products do you like? Do you love? What Old Pulteney products do you really, really recommend to others? That's going to be the question. In comparison, real briefly here, the 17-year-old. Cheers. Mm-hmm. This is the dark honey orange moment. This has that, I'm going to call it really 7-Up lemon lime moment going on there. The sweetness, there's that bourbon vanilla moment. I like this actually a tick better. This is a whiskey I would go back to. This is a whiskey I'd go back to in the evening, go, oh, let's have another sip. It has a long finish as well. This is just much richer. This is much more dense. Almost fudge type of too dense for me. And this is actually very, very nicely. The saltiness comes through. The caramel comes through. It's a great whiskey. Discontinued. What else do we know? Yay. All right, so first question, which packaging have you found so stupid to open that you cannot actually agree with it? And the second question is, what Old Pulteney bottlings do you enjoy and do you recommend to others? I can recommend the Old Pulteney 12. It's a good whiskey to get that briny, salty type of moment without the peatiness of some of the Islay whiskeys. Good whiskey, okay price, not bad product. WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Yay, 25-year-old Old Pulteney. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, telling others, and actually commenting. All the best. See you soon. Bye-bye.